What's up, everybody? So I just want to say thanks for everyone who subscribed, liked, and commented on the videos on the channel. I honestly didn't think I was going to get any subscribers or anything. I was just kind of doing it, you know, just for the hell of it. And I guess I did, and some people were asking for some more videos. So I was hoping to get some shots over at the track this week, but unfortunately my plans fell through. The people I was planning to go with were unable to attend. So I just shot some drone shots, and the drone shots weren't that great. It was our first time trying to do it, so hopefully the shots that did come out, you know, were okay though. Hopefully you guys like those. Next time hopefully they'll be a little bit better. I just said hopefully like 10 times. But yeah, and then also for this video I'm running the car on weather mode, so the exhaust is quite a bit more silent. Hopefully you're better able to hear me. And I just want to say, for anyone who posted comments, whether it was positive or negative, thanks for that. I'll take it as constructive criticism. As for the people who are commenting that I got an automatic instead of a manual, I don't really know if it's worth it for me to sit here and try and explain to those people why I got the automatic, if they're commenting those comments, because if you guys know, one of the other cars that I was looking into getting instead of this car was the Porsche 911 Turbo, which I didn't end up getting, but that runs on a DCT, and I really liked how that car drove with the DCT. And this car, like I said, is really similar to a DCT, although it's not a DCT. The time for shifting and everything is just about the same. But yeah, to the main thing. So someone did hit my car. Unfortunately, it was someone from my family. It was my cousin's husband, and I was pretty bummed when it happened. It was actually right after I got the wrap as well. It was probably about a week afterwards. I didn't make a video about it or anything because I was just so frustrated with the whole situation. But he ended up damaging the wrap. Luckily, it didn't do anything to the paint, and then he did break my front grill. You can't really tell where the damage is, but if you look real close, I got it patched up, but it's still peeling up a little bit. I'll eventually have this whole front replaced, but right there he hit right into it. This peeled up, and then this was patched. But this piece gets pretty messed up from rock chips and whatnot eventually, so it'll all be replaced. The other place where he damaged it was right here. So if you look, this is the piece of the fender that is cracked. It's really not noticeable, but it's really bugging me, so it's something that I will be replacing. So it's this whole piece here, and that runs about $500 from Chevy. Again, it's a bummer it happened, but luckily there was nothing permanent done to the car. And it has started raining. Unfortunately, I shot this video yesterday, but the camera, I guess it didn't record it for some reason. And so now here I am driving in the rain. This is my first time driving this car in the rain. It is in weather mode. I have the Super Sports on it, so it's not the Sport Cup 2s, luckily, which are just about basically drag radials. So it does handle okay in the rain. I still wouldn't recommend driving the car in the rain, but I'm definitely planning on not pushing it or anything, just because the road is wet. I was going to talk about a couple of the features in this car and a couple of things that people aren't really aware of. So one thing is that Chevy did play with the idea of using bi-turbos instead of the supercharger, but unfortunately the way the car's design was, they were unable to do that just because of the way the turbos would fit in and the way it would sit in the engine and throw off the balance of the car. So they had to end up going with the supercharger, and they didn't want to go with a naturally aspirated engine because their power goal for the new Z06 was over 600 horsepower, and they didn't want to just put in a monster engine like they did with the Dodge Viper. Another thing to mention is, a lot of people don't know this, but you can pause live radio on the new Corvettes. Whether it's a C7 or a Z06, you can pause live radio. So say you're like you're listening to your talk show and you want to head into the grocery store and grab some groceries, but you don't want to miss your talk show, you can just hit the pause button and then come back, hit play, and you'll start the talk show right where you left it off at. Another thing that people aren't really aware of is there's a pressure relief valve in the trunk of the car. You can't see it, I can't show it to you because it's inside the trunk, but it's something that functions only with the rear hatch. Unfortunately, it doesn't function with the front doors. I wish it did, because the front doors do not shut all the way if you have all the windows rolled up, and you don't want to slam the door. You're going to get a bit of cabin pressure that's going to cause the door not to close all the way. But if you do close the rear hatch lightly, it'll actually suction close, and that's because of that pressure relief valve. Something else that people don't really know about the car is it's actually 30% stiffer than the old Z06, even with the target top. So as you guys know, if you watched my last video, you can't purchase the Z06 in a solid body. It has to come with the target top or a convertible. But even with the target top, you're getting a car that's 30% stiffer than the old Z06. So another thing that people aren't really aware of is the performance shift mode, and that only comes on the automatic. It doesn't come on the manual. It's another reason the automatic is faster on the track than the manual. But basically, it's like the Sports Plus mode in a Porsche. It'll cause the car, and I'm not sure how it is in other cars, but I'm sure like the Sports mode or Sports Plus mode is really similar. But when you set the car in track mode, it's not like a Porsche being set. It's kind of like a Porsche going into sport mode. So it stiffens up the suspension, stiffens up the steering column, but it doesn't stiffen up, or it doesn't cause the car to go into high revs. So rather than having a track in like a track plus mode, what happens is when you tap the gas and you hit it really quick, your car will shift into sports, sorry, not sports plus mode, but it'll shift into performance shift mode. So when you go into performance shift mode, the car will sit at high revs and allow you to have that instant power when driving it. So usually what happens is when you drive in the automatic, it'll sense how much you're stepping on the gas and everything, and it'll either go into like an eco mode, or if you guys saw in my last video, it'll silence the exhaust and everything. But if you're driving it really aggressively, it'll switch into that performance shift mode and maintain those high revs. So yeah, as for other things that I hope to cover, hopefully I'll be doing videos about Concourse this year, which is coming up in August. I'll be going to Cars and Coffee this coming month. I'll do some of that. So I live really close to San Francisco. I don't live in San Francisco, but I just tell everyone that because if I do mention my town, no one knows where that's at. But they'll be doing cars. They do Cars and Coffee on Treasure Island, if you guys are familiar with that. So I'll be attending next month. And then some other things I plan to do are like I said, track videos and whatnot. So that's just some stuff that hopefully will come up on the channel. And if you guys are interested, comment, subscribe, like, and thank you for watching.